Hola, in today's video we are going to be talking about a lot of things. We're going to be talking about how to break up with someone, we're going to be talking about how not to break up with someone, we're going to be talking briefly about how to heal from a broken heart, and we're going to be talking about dating again, getting over the past relationship and moving forward. But first, I have a story. And the story involves you, so picture yourself at the doorstep of your girlfriend or your boyfriend. You walk and waltz right up to their door. She or he opens up that door, cracks open that door, and answers it for you. And you're standing there, you give a charming smile, you're holding the biggest bouquet of flowers in the world, and you show him or her an incredibly romantic sign. Like literally this sign is like a prom sign, except 10 times more romantic, 10 times more special. It's practically as big as a billboard. And with your charming smile, you show the board, which simply says, in cursive letters, it says, "I'm breaking up with you." And you narrate it, you say, "I'm breaking up with you," and you end your sentence with a wink. "I'm breaking up with you." Wink. Listen, there are many ways that you shouldn't break up with someone. And today, in today's episode of Love Stories with Grady, I'm going to be telling you exactly what those ways are. Hola, I'm a 22-year-old man here to chat about your relational game plan, and in today's episode of Love Stories with Grady, we are actually doing something very special, very exciting, very superb. We are going back in time to when I was 16, 17, 15, right around there. When I was in college, I was in a public speaking class, and the very first topic that I did a speech on was how not to break up with your girlfriend. Yes, that is literally what my speech was called. How not to break up with your girlfriend. And do you know how exactly I started the speech? It's by saying exactly what I said in the beginning of this video, painting the same exact picture. Why did I do this in college at 16 years old for a whole class while public speaking? You know, that's a fantastic question. It's simply because my name's Grady Wyzorek and I do things like that randomly that I think will be fun. So I looked while preparing for this video to see if I could find the speech that I did when I was 16. I know it's recorded somewhere, I just couldn't find the recording. I might not have it anymore. However, I do have my speech notes, so I have included that in my notes for this video in order to give you a little spice, a little idea of what 16-year-old Grady thought about how not to break up with someone. The other facts in this video, including this video, come from this book, Facts of Life and Love for Teenagers, written by Evelyn Millis Duvall back in 1957. It's gonna be fun. All right, I mean, breakups aren't fun, but we're gonna make this video fun. This is my question for you, and I don't think there's a right answer necessarily. It might depend on the situation. But my question to you is, who is a breakup harder for? Is it harder for the breakup-ee or the breakup-er? My original question that I had written in my notes, is it harder for the breakup-er or the breakup-ee? But I'm not sure if breakup-er and breakup-ee would be the same person or different. Anyway, I'm not going to dive into that, but you get what I'm asking. I'm going to tell you two quick stories of two people that I know. So one person was dating a guy, and this girl was talking to me about the relationship. And let's just say it wasn't going superb. It wasn't working out the way that this girl wanted. And she was talking to me, and she was telling me all of these things, and she was saying, I want to break up with him, but I feel bad, don't want to do it, don't want to hurt him, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay, listen, girl. And I said her name, obviously, but I said, listen. I said, what's better? Is it better to break up with him now, when you know that's what you want, when you know it's what's best for you, when you know it's the best route to go? Is it better to break up now and hurt him now? Or is it better to continually date him for a month, for another month, for another month, for another month, for a year, for 2 years, for 3 years? Hey, might as well marry him because that's going to be best for his feelings. I'm sure that's what he wants. And might as well have some kids because, you know, you don't want to hurt his feelings. He probably wants to have kids with you too. And you might as well just live your whole life with him because you don't want to hurt his feelings and because it's hard to break up with him. And I said to the girl, I said, it's better he knows the truth now than you prolonging this and he finds out the truth way later. So anyway, in that situation, I'm sure it was harder for the guy to hear her break up with him than it was for her, because it was probably like a stress relief off of her back. However, I also know two people who were dating for years, and they were together for a long time, and they would do a lot together, and ultimately the girl was just like, I don't know if he's for me. The problem in the relationship was that she was almost like bored, and honestly the guy was so great. I'm not really quite sure what the true problem was, but she just got to the point where she's like, I need to break up with him. He treats me super well, blah 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 blah. But because of how well he treated her, it was really hard for her to break up with him. And it was really sad hearing the updates of the breakup, and she was like mourning the breakup just as much as him. But she knew that it was the right thing to do. I remember getting the text updates and seeing screenshots of the messages being sent to me, and it was super sad to look at because I knew the girl a lot better than the guy, but I still did know the guy. I had met the guy, and it was tough, and it is tough to break up with people, which is why it's so important to not rush into a dating relationship. It's important to know if you want to be with someone, because like many people always say, you're either going to marry someone or you're going to break up with them, or you're going to date them forever. There's only one of those three options. I also know a guy who decided to break things off with a girl because the girl was clinging on to him. She was very toxic minded, where she was saying, I only want to give you time and attention when I want to give you time and attention, but when you ever want time and attention, that's not what we're going to do. And eventually he was like, this is not right, this is not healthy. And it was really hard for him because he had gotten so connected to this person, but he ultimately had to break it off because that person was not good for him. So how do you break up? Well, first of all, you need to have a discussion. Don't just say, hey, stupid, bye-bye, don't want to be with you. No, you've been through so much, you might as well share with that person what's going through your mind now and why you're deciding to part. Because I'm sure when you started dating, you probably discussed why you wanted to date each other. Well, if you're deciding not to date anymore, talk about why you don't want to date that person. The book's tip was make it more about the mutual relationship and how that's not working rather than about the other person. Because when, I mean, this is a dumb example, but when you say this relationship is stupid, it's a lot different than saying you are stupid. One is attacking the person, one is attacking the mutual relationship. So instead, focus on your view of this relationship. And also, if you are firm in the fact that you want to break up with this other person, be firm in that. Share your thoughts and don't give room for negotiation. Some people might try to push to negotiate with you to try to make things work. And if you are sure if you don't want to be with that person, don't make room for negotiation. Just say, this is my decision and I hope that you respect my decision, because this is how things are going to be from now on. All right, now for some fun stuff. We get to dive into my speech that I wrote when I was 16-ish years old. I was 16 when I wrote this and when I presented this. All right, are you ready? We're gonna go fast and furious through this because we have some other things to talk about, but this is how not to break up with your girlfriend. And so I'm going to go through the rest of this as if you are a guy, but know that the genders can be switched. It can be opposite. I simply just did the speeches, how not to break up with your girlfriend, because I was a guy. So that's what I'm gonna read. I'm not gonna try to say he or she this whole time. So there are 3 routes that you should not take when you are breaking up with your girlfriend: the overcaring route, the uncaring route, and the super unpredictable route. So number 1, the overcaring route. What is the overcaring route? In life, sometimes we tend to be cautious, a little too cautious. So when you decide that you want to break up with your girlfriend, you might lean towards letting her down a little easy, but you might end up letting her down a little too easy. The overcaring route, you might be trying to convince her that this relationship breakup is actually fantastic for her, that this is all for her sake, and this is a fantastic move for her. You deserve better. I'm the lowest of the lowest of the lowest of boys you could be with. I could never deserve you in a million years. I just know we need to break up, and this is just not gonna work out for you because I am just a pile of worms while you are a pile of gold coins, my precious, lovely, beautiful, model under the sun Amazonian woman. When you're breaking up with your girlfriend, don't go the overcaring route of giving her a parting gift when you break up. Don't say, hey, we're breaking up, but here's a dog, have fun. Here's a pile of cash, I hope that makes it better. I hope all of these things make up for the heartbreak I'm causing you. Another way to not break up with your girlfriend and go the overcaring route is to not hurt her fast. You simply let her down slowly. So like maybe one week you say, hey, I have something to tell you. The next week you're like, it's not too good news. The next week you say, yeah, I'm starting to think a little about our relationship. The next week you start saying, this might not necessarily be the best fit. The next week then you say, actually this really isn't the best fit. And the next week you say, I actually am breaking up with you. And then the next week you said, like, I'm breaking up with you right now. And then the next week you say, bye. I mean, that might be a little too overcaring because you're trying to make it easy for her by taking the heartbreak and spreading it out over like 3 months. But truly, that is not the best way to break up with your girlfriend. All right, so what's the uncaring route? What is an uncaring way of breaking up with your girlfriend? What shouldn't you do here? In life, sometimes we care too little. This ends up leading to hurting your soon-to-be ex-girlfriend more than they should be hurt. More hurt than is needed happens. The uncaring route, how not to break up with your girlfriend, you just avoid her forever and hope she gets the clue. Another way with how not to break up with your girlfriend is being super inconsiderate. For example, let's say you go up to her, flick her in the forehead, and you just say, "I'm breaking up with you, dummy." Another uncaring way is to break up with her over text. Another uncaring way is, like, let's say she's at her great-great-great-great-grandfather's funeral and her great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather just passed away, and you said, "Hey, I just want to let you know I'm breaking up with you." Another uncaring way is that you break up with her through a friend. Another uncaring way is saying, "Hey, well, the best way to let her know that I don't want to be in a relationship with her is to simply cheat on her, and then she finds out, and then she can just break up with me, and then it's all fine." Or she might want to work through this, through me cheating, and then I just cheat on her with someone else, and then boom, bada boom, I just keep on cheating on her until she gets the hint. My personal favorite way of how not to break up with your girlfriend is the super unpredictable route. In life, sometimes we think a little too outside the box. When it comes to shutting down a relationship, being creative doesn't necessarily guarantee you a successful breakup. Like, for example, in the super unpredictable route, don't try to justify your breakup by saying something like, "Yeah, my cat just doesn't love you, so I gotta break up with you." Or don't try to justify things by simply saying, "Yeah, I'm in love with your sister." Or don't try to be super unpredictable while breaking up with her and trying to psych her out. Don't say this, "I don't think things are working out, but it's not because I don't like you, it's because I hate you." Next up, super unpredictable route, don't try to break up with her with jokes. "Is it hot in here, or are you suffocating me? Hey baby, are you being followed? Because I've been seeing people behind your back. Hey, remember when I asked you out? Well, I was talking to the girl behind you. Roses are red, violets are blue, garbage is dumped, and now so are you." And my personal favorite way of how not to break up with your girlfriend is to take her out for an anniversary dinner. It's so romantic. Candles, music, everything is happening just how she wants it. You get down on one knee, you bring out this small little box, you crack it open, and you say, "Hey, here's a friendship bracelet. Let's be friends." And then you make her pay, and then you walk right out. So in life, you need to be careful about breaking up with your girlfriend in a considerate way. Sit down with her, have a heart-to-heart conversation, and explain the reason that you even want to break up in the first place. Don't be too cautious by going the overcaring route. Don't care too little by going the undercaring route. And don't be too flashy with your super unpredictable jokes or your friendship bracelets. And be especially sure not to show up to her doorstep with a charming smile, a cute wink, a bouquet of flowers, a romantic sign, and a whole lot of bad news, because there's no way that would end well. Alright, so that's what my 16-year-old self had to say. What my 22-year-old self would have to add is, obviously be considerate, as my 16-year-old self said. But just to be honest, if someone broke up with me, or if I broke up with someone, I would want to share with them the reason why, and I would want to hear from them the reason why. And I would be able to receive the truth, because they deserve for me to listen and understand where they're at, and they should be able to understand where I'm at if I would break up with them. Alright, so how do you get over a breakup? How does that work? In the past, we've talked about when love hurts, when love really sucks. And we have a video on that, so I'm going to breeze through the rest of this. We're going to be talking about specifically breakups, when that hurts, when it hurts for breakups. Listen, don't just avoid your thoughts and don't just avoid your grief. That is not the solution. Instead, empty your thoughts, whether it's on paper to another person. Get it out in the open of why you feel the way you do. The book talks about 10 ways to get over him or to get over her, this person that you were in a dating relationship with, whether you were the person who broke up with them or was broken up with. It says, take the picture out of the frame that you have by the side of your bed and burn it, which that is extreme to me, but maybe bury it, just bury it. It says to destroy all the letters, which is also very extreme to me, but like if you want to burn those, feel free, but if you want to bury that with your picture, go ahead. Dispose the gifts and return all of their things that are super valuable. Start a new diary that has no mention of this other person's name. Get rid of the music that reminds you of this person and the special song that you two united over. Get rid of it. Erase the person's name and number from your address book. On your anniversary, plan things with your friends to get your mind off of the anniversary. Develop a new interest that you haven't had time to enjoy before. Whenever you think of the person, change the subject. Okay, so honestly, these things, I I don't know if I agree with all of them. I think it's extremely extreme. If you truly do need to get over this person and you're like struggling with it, maybe go and do these things. But I think just processing things out loud on paper, it's going to be very helpful for you. And just do your best not to think about them all of the time, but you can think about them sometimes. You can't heal if you don't let yourself heal. All right, so while you're healing from your relationship, take a breather. Like, slow down, take a breather. Don't rush into a relationship. Live and experience the parts of life that you haven't been appreciating. Let your friends know that your calendar is more open and that you're available to hang out. And avoid going steady on the rebound. This shouldn't be rebound city and rebound central. Like, seriously, take your time for yourself. Learn who you are as yourself. Some people say that you need to find out and discover who you are single before you truly do get in a relationship. And I think there is some wisdom to that, even though that sometimes that doesn't work out in all cases. Like, I don't think you're required to be out of a relationship for 2 years before you can go into another thriving relationship. All right, we have been talking and chatting a lot about this, and I'm going to log off right now. I hope you learned a little bit about how to break up with someone and also how not to break up with someone. But as long as you're considerate and open and honest and communicative and with that person in person while doing it, I think it's going to be hard, but it's also going to go well. And you're going to be grateful that you did it because you know that it's best for you and it's best for that other person if they're not in a relationship with someone who doesn't fully value them. If you have anything to add of how to break up with someone or how not to break up with someone, comment it below because I want to read it. Secondly, like this video just like you like the idea of being in a relationship with someone that you actually want to be with. And then thirdly, subscribe to this channel because in this next video, we are going to be talking about engagement. When do you know that you want to get engaged to someone? That is super exciting. I have so much notes on this. We are going to really dig into it and I'm excited. All right, have a fantastic night. Adios. And always remember that I will never say to you, roses are red, violets are blue, garbage is dumped, and now so are you.